Eric, it's a gazebo.
Where is this going? We're in for a throngling.
There is now a gazebo with an arrow sticking out of it.
They're like, it's a gazebo. Leave it alone.
Wasn't it wounded? Of course not, Eric. It's a gazebo.
Wait, why would you play a rook with a flail?
It's a gazebo, Eric. A gazebo.
Wait, Krod was supposed to be
Krod. If you really want to try and destroy it, you could chop it with an axe. Still one of my favorites, I suppose, or you could try and burn it.
You better be a crow's nest.
But I don't know why anybody would even try. It's a gazebo.
Gazebo. Wait, maybe I could do that to chat.
It's too late. You've awakened the gazebo. It catches you and eats you.
Oh gosh, forgot to start that up before I started.
Hug, 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 big sis bokath, one heart.
One heart. So, how is everyone doing? Good morning, Ghost. How are you doing? I'm doing all right. A wheel. Where'd my water go, by the way? Did I forget to bring it in here? I think I forgot to bring it in here. I forgot to bring my water in here, guys. I'm smart, I promise. We're gonna do another react. You guys like reacts, right?
So, in the early 70s, Ed Whitchurch ran his game, and one of the participants was Eric Sorensen. Eric plays something like a computer. When he games, he methodically considers each possibility before choosing his preferred option. If given time, he will invariably pick the optimal solution. It has been known to take weeks. He is otherwise, in all respects, a superior gamer. Eric was playing a neutral paladin in Ed's game. He was on some lord's land when the following
Neutral paladin, that... It would be very hard to play a neutral paladin.
exchange occurs. Ed, you see a well-groomed garden. In the middle, on a small hill, you see a gazebo. Gazebo? What color is it? It's white, Eric. How far away is it? It's about 50 yards. And how big is it? It's about 30 feet across, 15 feet high with a pointed top. I use my sword to detect good on it. It's not good, Eric. It's a gazebo. I call out to it. It won't answer. It's a gazebo. I sheath my sword and draw my bow and arrows. Does it respond in any way? No, Eric. It's a gazebo.
Where is this going?
I shoot it with my bow. He rolls to hit. What happened? There is now a gazebo with an arrow sticking out of it. Wasn't it wounded? Of course not, Eric. It's a gazebo. But that was a +3 arrow. It's a gazebo, Eric. A gazebo. If you really want to try and destroy it, you could chop it with an axe, I suppose, or you could try and burn it. But I don't know why anybody would even try. It's a fucking gazebo.
Gazebo.
He has no axe or fire spells. I run away. No, it's too late. You've awakened the gazebo. It catches you and eats you. Eric, reaching for his dice. Maybe I'll roll up a fire-using mage so I can avenge my paladin. At this point, the increasingly amused fellow party members restored a modicum of order by explaining to Eric what a gazebo is. Thus, and
The DM got so fed up that they made it a mimic. They're like, it's a gazebo! Leave it alone!
the tale of Eric and the dread gazebo. Could have been worse. At least the gazebo wasn't on a grassy knoll.
Oh, that's just wrong. That's just wrong.
It's my favorite. It's my all-time favorite D&D story.
When... That's just hilarious. Oh, old deity yelling.
My husband is playing D&D with some friends and told me to come look at the cat who is sitting in a chair like a person. My husband handed him a d20 and said, "Sir, you have to roll a stealth check to convince the other party members you are a human." And the cat immediately batted the d20 and rolled a 14. The party cheered for him. The final human player joined the table, and they brought out a whole extra chair so the cat could remain at the table. He's now the party's official druid, and just canonically in wild shape all the time, and therefore unable to speak common. That's so cute. DM, you see a warehouse in the distance. Player.
That cat can join our DM group. D&D.
Is it like a werewolf, but instead of a wolf, they turn it into a house?
Oh no.
It is now. We're stuck in an underwater dungeon with no exits. Come across a skeleton chained up in a jail cell. Warlock has a magic item with a limited use, Speak with Dead. One question. How do we get out of here? How the f*** would I know? pants checked out.
He's chained up there. Why would you ask him that? That just... I'm like... Wait a minute.
A female Dragonborn paladin with a noble background is the
Where I saw this one.
ultimate switch. She can be the knight, the princess. Of Foxley has been kidnapped by Firefang the Ruthless. Will you rescue her on behalf of His Holiness? Sir Miranda's old days. Born in Foxley, honorarily knighted in Moseley as a Black Knight after winning a jousting tournament, whose rebellious teenage nickname was Firefang. So, about all that.
Nah, I wouldn't tell him. I'd be like, sure. And then I'd wait a day. And I'd come back like, you're safe.
The fewer words a magic sword's name has, the more dangerous it is. You don't want to be on the wrong end of Dark King Grutmore's Edge of Annihilation, don't get me wrong. But you for sure don't want to be on the wrong end of something called the Throngler. Dark King Grutmore's Edge of Annihilation implies other Dark Kings with other Edges of Annihilation. But there is only one way to get Throngler.
You're in for a throngling.
I can't say thrungled with a straight face. Make a bear character in D&D 3.5. DM laughs. Make bear a rogue, put every point I can into disguise. Prestige class is a spy to get even more disguise.
Do we watch this one again?
DM
We're
says I
watching it
can't
because
speak
I want to
English,
do this.
but I max out
I
bluff.
just don't know what I would do.
Growling and gesturing, I can fake speaking a language I don't speak. I use money to hire a butler NPC. I give him magical item to speak bear.
Brr.
An excellent suggestion. An excellent suggestion, Mr. Barrington. We really should ask the group to investigate the Black Marsh. Over the course of the game, be knighted as Sir Barrington.
Okay.
Queen holds a dinner in my honor. A guest becomes the first man to ever make a perception check that can beat my disguise. Shouts out loud, "Hey! That guy's not a guy, he's just a bear!"
He's a
Man
bear.
is escorted out of the castle while the guards apologize
We're so
profusely for
sorry,
the
Mr.
indignity.
Barrington.
We're so
We're
sorry,
so
Mr.
sorry.
Barrington. Very sorry for this man's behavior. Roar. Shrug.
Roar. Roar.
Teaching a girl how D&D works. She makes a half-orc rogue. I am loving the concept. First fight starts. Okay, DM, I spray the enemy with water. What? You can't do that. Why not? Aren't I half-orca?
I love that joke.
I told them there was a flask full of deadly poison
I've
on a
done
shelf.
most of my
They
crap,
laughed
and you
and
think
asked how
that
they knew
not
it was
would be if I
poison.
did that.
And I said, oh right, never mind then.
Hi,
Just a
no,
flask.
welcome to stream everyone of time.
And one of them went and drank it.
We've established that a lot of D&D parties are dumb, right?
Many party is forced into eating at a vegan lunch. What do? My Dragonborn fighter looks at his plate with disdain. He decides to pick it up and throw it on the ground. He yells at the host, "Do I look like a fucking iguana to you?" Host falls, speechless. My party begins to glare at me. The bard pipes up with, I mean, kinda.
You kind of look like a matchstick.
I used this once. The BBEG does his whole evil speech
Okay,
explaining
this one
why
was
he
it.
wants to exterminate the elves. Finishes up and initiative is rolled. On my turn, I move my sorcerer over to the other side of the map. Guys, he's actually making sense. I think we should go with him. All the other players lose their shit. Tell me I'm off my rocker for siding with him. Sorry guys, I'm on the winning side here. Twin spell haste on the boss and his second in command. Boss's turn comes next, and he charges in to attack everyone. I end my concentration. DM's mouth is hanging open, wondering why the I would do that. His turn ends, he and his buddy can't move or take actions until their next turn. We mop the floor with both of them. Now, all bosses have plus 20 to their insight checks.
Well done. Well done. Well done.
I've DM'd for over 7
Brava.
years. My campaign has been sponsored by Wizards of the Coast. I've written for official Wizards D&D material and for Netflix. This is D&D social media campaign. I'm not saying this to flex, I'm saying this so you believe me when I say, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. Most people know the Matt Mercer effect, that players have an expectation on DMs to be on par with one of the greatest DMs to ever do it. It's silly and it's damaging. But I think equally damaging to that is people who are thinking about DMing, proto-DMs, your sapling storytellers, your pre-provocateurs. They think that to DM at all, they have to devote a massive amount of time to develop the world, setting, plot, NPCs, silly voices, improv.
No. Unless you want to be Matt. Constantly have to rewrite parts sometimes. No, you don't have to do that.
Acting classes, research on pre-industrial agriculture and the fall of the Byzantine
Although, I think Naka refuses to do that.
Empire.
As is clear by some of the times I want to do something completely off the walls, and they're like, no, Boka, no.
Byzantine. And all of that on top of work/studying/ overthrowing capitalism.
Sad part is that Wizard wants to make AI DM, and it won't work.
In this economy, these are some of the most common messages I see on my videos. Look at them all. The people saying things like, I wish I could play D&D, but I don't have a DM. Or this guy who was like, I'd play D&D, but my friends are annoying as fuck. The point of this video is the perfect DM is you. You're the DM. You don't need the stars to align perfectly at the time of your birth to answer the call of the DM. You do need to consume the flesh of a DM in order to gain their powers, though. Look, here's how I started. A starter set. This lowers the barrier of entry to DM. Once you have that momentum of a first session, the rest of it will just fall like dominoes in a house of cards. I'm going to,
That doesn't make sense. Dominoes in a house of cards? Wouldn't the cards fall, not the dominoes?
Put a special effect of me opening this box. Inside the starter set, rule book. Now, put that back in. Oh, no. You will notice that the rule book in the starter set is less thick than the player's handbook. Thinner. See? That's maths. It's because this has only the very necessary rules for you to know. Only the exact information for you to start your first session. And that's all you need to know. Knowing more than that doesn't help. It's only going to bog you down, make more of a challenge for you to just start. And the best part, when something comes up at the table that isn't covered in this, just make it up. They won't know. Okay, I was doing that all holding the pre-written adventure. This is the starter rules, but you get the idea. It's the same. It's still thin. It's thinner, in fact, than even the other thing. So you can just in your brain think that I was holding this. You're an adult. This is the pre-written adventure. It's pretty good. I've read through it. I like it. I dig it. It's got nice, like, tropey fun. It's actiony. It's good. Good adventure.
It's on YouTube, if you heard that. No, I don't know where it's from. And no, I will not look for the 100th time.
Pre-written adventure.
I
Again,
refuse!
read only the first little bit. Read the first chapter. Prep your first session. That's all you need to do. Read the first chapter. That's like an afternoon. Not even. Comes with a little baggie of dice. On the player's side, it's easy for them as well. There is like 45,000 different character sheets here. Jesus Christ. So they'll have enough choice to pick
No, that was like 6.
something that appeals to them. When it comes to them playing and they don't know what to add to a role, it's right on there on the character sheet. You silly goose. To be fair, there's a lot of numbers on this sheet. It can be a little intimidating to know where to start, to know what's going on. I've introduced a lot of people to D&D and run first sessions for them. I've created a little spiel. I find it really helpful to tell them this. It might be helpful for you to get a good idea of just the raw, absolute basics of how to play. Here's what I tell them. D&D is a collaborative game where we're all working together to tell a great and ridiculous story. You choose what your character will do, but how successful you are is determined by the outcome of a roll of a dice. You're mostly going to be used... I can use the little starter set dice. I'm begin strong. Jesus Christ. Gah! The D20. You're mostly going to be rolling this 20-sided dice, and you'll be doing it in 3 different kinds of rolls. Skill checks, where your character is actively trying to do something, persuade someone or do a sweet flip. Saving throws, where your character has been forced to act in the moment. A frog wizard hurls a flaming ball of amphibian slime at you, and you need to roll a dexterity saving throw to leap out of the way. Happens more than you'd think, but less than you'd hope. And then finally is the attack roll, where you're either trying to smack or magically smack another creature. That's it. The only other thing is to how to run a combat. Have everyone, including your...
Wait, less than you think, but more than you'd hope? How much do I think it happens?
villainous frog wizard roll initiative. Put that down in order, go down the list, everyone gets their movement to walk about and their action, usually to smack someone or cast a spell. You don't need map or minis, just describe it to your players and you can all collectively imagine it. That's why you can't spell imagine without magic. I don't want this video to just be me yelling unhinged things.
You wonder if he did this during or after the... This is probably before, because this is 2 years ago.
About frog wizards either. I want you, I've got a giveaway thanks to Wizards of the Coast in the description where you can win a starter set yourself. I also want to provide actual specific advice to you. If you're a DM and you're like, but I can't verbalize vowel sounds, I'll be like, listen, I got you. I might take a while on that response, but I want to if you comment below with your specific actual problems, I want to give you specific actual feedback. The best advice I have. Not good advice, but the best advice I have. Most importantly, more than anything else I've said in this video, I want to get across this one salient point. D&D is a machine for making silly jokes with your friends. Now, roll up this video, put it in a blow dart, and shoot it into the neck of your enemy. Or like it. Love you, bye! Love you, bye!
How do I roll up this video? Don't know. Alright, one more!
This was a wrap-up for a module we were playing, but I had fun the whole way. I played Krod, the half-orc rogue, with a flail, because in...
That's a hammer. Wait, why would you play a rogue with a flail? A flail would not be a very good, I mean, depends on how long the chain is.
Pathfinder, just about any weapon can get sneak attack damage. Krod is over 7 feet tall and speaks in the third person whenever he thinks someone is watching. Said to the paladin, Krod suggests you look the other way while he's shopping. He wasn't dumb, but people never expect the idiot to be running a crime ring. Krod was a good stealth guy, but he shined in intimidation, plus 13 at level 3. This made for great moments as the game went on. The first time he was sneaking around, I fumbled his stealth roll. I looked at the GM, Krod rears up and screams at the top of his lungs, "You know, see, Krod!" I critted the roll. That was Krod. One of his quotes was, "Only two things, see, Krod. Dead things, and things that know better than to admit it."
Something wrong?
Nope. At the end of the module, my group is breaking up a local cult.
Yeah, understandable.
And we get caught in the middle of leadership while trying to steal incriminating
I like Krod.
documents. So we fight and against all odds defeat the leadership and then mask Golem. It helped when Krod kneecapped it with a sneak attack with his two-handed flail. Krod's standing over the cult leader and gives his BBEG last words. "I should have known you were unbelievers from the start." Krod always considered self-militant agnostic. Krod not really know what to believe. And he is very frustrated with that. Crunch.
Wait! I thought Krod was supposed to be...
Krod. Still, one of my favorite moments is when I had to ad-lib a distraction. The group had infiltrated the earlier mentioned cult and were being processed. Our mage wanted to sneak off to check on some enchantment or another, and I volunteered to keep their attention. The GM smirks and says, "Okay, what do you do?" Krod tells an entertaining story to distract the acolytes. "Okay, tell me a story." No roll, tell me the story. Okay, Krod gets them talking about themselves and eventually says, Krod had lots of jobs before coming here. Bouncer, bodyguard, gigolo, city guard. Jim, a gigolo? Yep. Krod was kept man for noble lady. She get off on Krod not being fancy. Krod had to quit though. Why did you quit? Fancy pants suitor get mad at Krod for taking his woman. Challenged Krod to duel, then Krod killed him. And she kicked you out? No, noble lady get off on that too.
Police get real mad though.
But duel's illegal.
Yes, but only if you kill man during the duel.
You killed him outside of the duel?
Well, Fancy Pants tell Krod to choose weapon. Krod choose surprise.
Krod had a lot of fun in a short set of campaigns. At one point, Krod is hanging out with his group as we travel by river. When the GM notes that we are passing another boat, he asked us where we were. I said Krod was in the crow's nest. The boat is too small. There is no crow's nest. He built one. He can't build a crow's nest. I haven't chosen a craft skill yet. Krod is
carpenter in free time. He enjoy working with hands in way that doesn't require he put down tarp first.
You have no tools.
Krod glares at some spare planks until they know better than not to be crow's nest.
I rolled to intimidate the wood. GM. Roll it. Krod now has the craft skill Angry Carpenter.
You better be a crow's nest. Wait, maybe I could do that to chat. Kobolds! Better behave and be a good source of calcium. Grr. I like that one. ZacSpeaksGiant's pretty funny. This is probably another day of video? Yeah, I don't know, maybe 2 days. Maybe 1 day. I don't know. Lots of videos.